Now this week for you guys, I wanted to do a tag video, and I've seen this one floating around a little bit, and with all the reading I've been doing, I thought this would be the perfect tag for me, and it's called the Reader Problems Tag. So let's jump right into it. Question 1. You have 20,000 books on your TBR. How in the world do you decide what to read next? That's pretty relevant to pretty much my everyday life, because there are like tons of books that I want to read, and they're all on my TBR. And it really just depends on what I'm in the mood for at the moment. Depends on what I'm going to read next. Like right now, I've been reading a lot of romance novels. So instead of reading the things that are already on my TBR, I start finding other romance novels that I want to read. One of my friends suggested a book to me called The Genesis Girl, and so I read that. And then I jumped to a romance novel that I wanted to read, and then it had a cliffhanger, so I had to read the next one. And now I'm going back to the sequel for Genesis Girl, which is called Damaged. So yeah, I'm kind of just jumping around at this point, but I would like to get through my TBR and all the books that I have that I haven't read. I would like to read them at some point. Maybe this year. I don't know. I'm kind of on a roll. We'll see how it goes. 2. You're halfway through a book and you're not loving it. Do you quit or are you committed? It really just depends. Like some books I've read and things will happen in them and I'll get really irritated and I won't want to finish it. So that's kind of a thing, but that book that I got really irritated at, I ended up finishing it because I wanted to know what happened to the characters in the rest of the story. But if it's a book that I'm reading that I'm just really not into, usually I'll just kind of stop. 3. The end of the year is coming and you're so close but so far away from your Goodreads goal challenge. What do you try to catch up and how? So last year I was about 15-20 books away from meeting my Goodreads goal, and I kind of tried to catch up for a while, and then NaNoWriMo happened, and then Christmas happened, and I just didn't get the reading in that I wanted, so I just tried to read as much as I could and then called it a day. 4. The covers of your series you love do not match. How do you cope? Most of the books that I buy these days are ebooks, so I don't really have to worry about my covers on a shelf matching. But sometimes when they update the covers on the ebooks, it'll change in my Nook, and that's kind of irritating, especially when they like change a regular cover to like the movie cover, or if it's like they just update the cover and then I don't like the new cover. That's kind of irritating. I wish there was like an option like, hey, do you want to download this new cover or would you rather keep your old one? Because usually it's the latter. But sometimes it does bother me, like them sitting on the shelves, like if I have most of them in hardback and then I find one and I only find it in paperback, that's kind of annoying. But sometimes you just have to deal. And sometimes you get lucky and find the one that does match in a bargain bin. So, number 5. Everyone and their mother loves a book you don't really like. Who do you bond with over shared feelings? Sometimes you just don't like everything everybody else likes. Usually like me and one of my friends have been kind of reading simultaneously like the same things, and some of the things I've liked more than she's liked or vice versa, and we kind of just vent to each other about both reasonings and go about our day. Number 6. You're reading a book and you're about to start crying in public. How do you deal? Those are kind of just those things that happen. Sometimes if I know it's going to be sad or if I know something like big is about to happen, I'll stop and wait till I'm alone and go somewhere. Or I mean, sometimes you just do what you gotta do, and someone asks you what's wrong, you're just like, oh, this book's really sad. There was a book that I was reading and one of the characters died and I was bawling like a baby, and I came back downstairs and my husband was like, what's wrong? And I was like, the character died. And it was just like, he was like, you need to stop. Like, you need to stop reading that book. So you just gotta cry sometimes. Number 7. A sequel of a book you love just came out, but you've forgotten a lot of the prior novel. Will you reread the book, skip the sequel, and try to find the synopsis on Goodreads, or cry in confusion? Usually, like, okay, I started reading the Fifth Wave series by Rick Yancey when the Fifth Wave came out, and I've still yet to read The Last Star, but it's been so long since I've read The Infinite Sea, I almost want to read it again. I have it on my bookshelf somewhere. I'm gonna knock all these things down. These are actually some books that I have, because like these are different. Okay, so I have the advanced reader copy of The Fifth Wave because I used to work at a bookstore and we got these. Then I have the hardcover of The Infinite Sea that I would like to read again. And then I have the ebook version of The Last Star. So I kind of just deal with random. But I kind of want to go back and read this again. I'm pretty familiar with what happens in this, especially because you can just, I mean, I know it's terrible. You can just watch the movie and they're pretty similar. They don't leave out a whole lot. The changes that were made, I do remember. But I would like to read this again to see. And a lot of times when you're reading a series like that, the first couple pages in the newest book kind of recap what's happened already anyway. So usually, like, even if you don't want to go back and read, you can. But I think I'm going to go back and reread. And I think it just depends on the situation for the book and how you're feeling about it. Number 8. You do not want anyone borrowing your books. How do you politely tell them nope when they ask? Most of my books, like my newer books, are all on my tablet these days, so I can't really loan those out anyway. I mean, I don't really mind when people borrow my books. It also depends on what the book is. Like, if someone wanted to borrow, like, one of these, I'd be like, no. But if it was just something like, I don't know, I probably wouldn't loan this out either because, I don't know, I usually don't. I'm just kind of like, oh, it's really good, you should go check it out at the library. That's always a good, polite option to be like, nah. Or like, oh, I'm just about to reread that one. You should go check it out at the library though. I'm sure they have it. It's a good, polite excuse, right? Reading ADD. You've picked up and put down 5 books in the last month. How do you get over your reading slump? Well, I've got a few books currently on my like Goodreads current reads right now, 2 of which I haven't touched in months, and I really like, I think once I started, back in like December I was like, oh, I'm gonna read all these Christmassy books that I keep putting off, so I like read all of those, and then when the new year hit I started reading all these romance novels, and then I've just been like on a roll with those, but I would like to go back and read the other books that I have been neglecting on my Goodreads current reads. Most likely that I need to start over at this point, but they're there, and sometimes you just need another book or something to like motivate you. 10. There are so many new books coming out that you're dying to read. How many do you actually buy? It really just depends. Like if it's like a book in a series, I'll pre-order it most of the time, and so I'll already have it like right when it comes out. If it's just a new book in general that I really like, it kind of varies, like if I'm already reading something or how like soon I think I'll actually read it. I used to work at a bookstore and there was constant influx of new books that I saw, and I was like, oh, I want to read that, I want to read that. A lot of the times I would kind of like put it on my wish list on my Nook, and then so I'd remember it, and then when I got around to the point where I was like, oh, I'm done reading whatever I'm reading, I need something new to read, I just like scroll through my wish list and then I buy when I think I'm actually going to read it. It kind of saves money, and then you don't forget about it, so it works for me. For 11, after you've bought the new books you can't wait to get, how long do they sit on your shelf before you get to them? Okay, so let's go back to the Rick Yancey series with The Last Star. I pre-ordered that book right after I finished reading The Infinite Sea, and I have still yet to read it. I kind of guess I just got caught up in a lot of other books and I just haven't gone back to it yet. So it varies. Like I've read the Just Friends series by Monica Murphy, and her newest book is coming out in April, and I already pre-ordered that one, and I'm like dying to read it, and that's one of the ones that I've been like simultaneously reading with my friend, and so I feel like I won't be able to not read it, because if I don't read it she's gonna spoil it, or she wouldn't spoil it for me, but she would want to talk about me, like she'd want to talk to me about it. So that's like a book that I'm like, I have to read it. Like as soon as it like downloads, I'm gonna read it. So it really just depends. But I try to read them in a timely manner, especially if it's something I pre-ordered. Like obviously I really wanted to read it. Like why am I letting it sit around? So that's all the questions. Reader problems tag. I hope you guys enjoyed this tag. I don't really know how to tag, so I'm just gonna say if you watch this video, you're it. But yeah, I hope you guys it's Valentine's Day today, so I hope you're having a wonderful Valentine's Day full of love and romance. I hope you guys have an amazing Valentine's Day. And if you like this video, let me know if you like this tag video. I'm probably going to do some more very soon. And if you like my channel, you don't want to miss anything, make sure you subscribe. And I will see you guys next Tuesday. Have an amazing day. Bye!